Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. I just wanted to make a quick video talking about those very slight class 2 cases. I finally found a good stock image that reflected this, where you're just like a millimeter or two class 2 on a canine, on a premolar, on a molar, on a premolar and a molar. You know, sometimes when we're like that, sometimes we have a little overjet, right? So we're like, hey, cool. If everything works out well, there's no bolt discrepancy, we could just toss some elastics on and we're all good. But there's some circumstances where you don't want to do that. Let's talk about a few circumstances where that isn't good. First of all, well, if there is a Bolton, you definitely don't want to do that because then you'd have anterior contacts at the end, and this could cause trauma and fremitus, issues with the perio, and stuff like that. That would not be good at all. So, of course, check your Bolton and see. And in a subtle one, you might not know. That's why I really do like to run it through like something that measures the Bolton. In the olden days, we would use occlusograms and stuff like that and measure it with our calipers, and it really wasn't accurate. But now, with Invisalign and ClearCorrect and all the different programs that are out there, it's very easy to calculate Boltons before you even start treatment. So it's always good to know if there's a mandibular Bolton, especially in a class 2 case. Sometimes that works out just perfect. We end up with just perfect front teeth, just slight class 2 in the back. Who cares? So this is my quote from one of our professors at UConn back when I was in residency 20 something years ago. Nobody died from a little class 2. And every time I see a little class 2 case where it just makes more sense to leave it, I just say nobody died from a little class 2. And it's true, nobody died. Little class 3, different story, because you'd have zero canine guidance. Different story. That's a completely different situation. But a little class 2, no. What if we had a situation where we take the Ceph and the incisors are upright, and if we tried to correct the class 2, we'd retrocline them more and or make the E-line worse, make the profile worse? Well, then maybe we want to leave the overjet and the class 2. So that's another situation. So again, nobody died from a 1 or 2 millimeter class 2. Who cares? Nothing wrong with that. I think some people are thinking that the occlusion's bad and there's no goodness. You're going to do so much more damage to the patient trying to do some heroic mechanics to try to distalize these back teeth into a class 1 and then having to restore these teeth in the front. I mean, if the patient is looking to be a model for an orthodontic textbook, then by all means do it. I don't care. It seems like 2 to 3 years in treatment to try to get something that looks good on a textbook and potentially burning out roots and then restoring front teeth or doing a ton of lower IPR for clearance seems absolutely insane to me. I mean, borderline malpractice definitely in the United States. I think you could get in massive trouble if you did that. If you did that and if something happened, roots burnt out, it's just unnecessary treatment. Okay, for example, I'll give you an example. This is part of the reason why I think the orthodontic boards are bullshit, and they're totally optional to take that. We all take the written ones as part of our, I think everyone does, as part of our graduation. We all take them. I passed them, of course. In fact, I wrote the whole cheat sheet for my whole, not cheating, but the summary for my entire class, because that's something I'm good at. So that stuff I aced. That was not a problem. But then they have this optional one where you go and you like show your cases and you defend it to a panel and they pick it apart. I personally think that is the most below standard of care thing. It's obnoxiously disgusting because the stuff that people do to these patients to try to get these board cases is so wrong. Like, nobody puts a patient through 3, 4, 5 years of treatment to try to get a perfect finish just for a perfect finish. And a lot of times they end up comping these cases because they just wreck the roots and stuff long term. It looks really nice, initially, but then these patients end up with massive problems later. So no, I think it's wrong. I personally think it's ethically wrong. But yeah, they do crazy stuff to try to get that perfect textbook finish. So yes, if you want to be an orthodontic model, then do it. But if something went wrong on the way, or any of those fillings got a cavity, I mean, if they went through the records, and 20, 30 years ago, nobody knew, right? So nobody's going to question, but everyone knows now. And if they went through your records and you got an audit, or if you had a board complaint or something like that, or an insurance complaint, and they're going to go, because I get called up to testify these type of cases. I've met with lawyers before. I've been called in on cases to give expert witness opinions. And I'll be like, that was unnecessary. That was not standard of care. Just because some guy named Angle made a rule on what things should look like doesn't mean that's the best thing for the patient. So give it up. Nothing wrong. Nobody died with a little class 2. All right, thanks.